Welcome to our 156th step in our walking tour through the Bible. And we have arrived at Psalm 41, which illustrates for us two very important things that we come across quite often. One, perhaps more than the other, both of which came up at the Reformation, funnily enough. Maybe this psalm was a particularly popular psalm in Geneva or wherever it was, or Edinburgh at the time of the Reformation. Now, 4041, here we go. First of all, paranoia. I don't think there's a better illustration of what we mean by paranoia than this psalm. The psalmist is ill, he's in bed, he's unhappy, but that's the least of his problems. As for me, I said, Lord, have mercy on me, heal my soul, for I have sinned against you. Okay, he's ill, he knows he's sinned, he's asked God for forgiveness. But then he goes off. My foes are speaking evil against me. How long before he dies and his name be forgotten? They come to visit me and speak empty words. So these foes are in fact false friends. Their hearts full of malice, they spread it abroad. My enemies whisper together against me. They all weigh up the evil which is upon me. Some deadly thing has fastened upon him. He will not rise again from where he lies. Thus even my friend, in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has turned against me. Now, this is clearly paranoia, because the man is ill in bed. How does he know what they're doing? They're whispering. He can't hear. He's imagining he's surrounded by false friends, and these people are plotting against him. They're rubbing their hands, saying he's going to die, and of course he's going to die, and his name will be forgotten, because there's no life after death. He will not rise again from where he lies. Thus even my friend whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has turned against me. My very best friend who used to come round to my house and eat and drink, he's turned against me. And they come to visit me and speak empty words. All these kind people surrounding my bed saying, oh, how are you? They're all hypocrites. Now, I think that this is a projection. Sick man is not just sick in body, but his mind has gone a little bit unhinged. And he's thinking that everybody has turned against him. It's the most wonderful description of paranoia I've ever come across, I think. So the sickness is not just in the body, it's also in the mind. Now, why do I associate this with the Reformation? Well, the reason I associate with the Reformation is because he says, but you, Lord, have mercy on me. Let me rise once more, and I will repay them. By this I shall know that you are my friend. My foes do not shout in triumph over me. If you uphold me, I shall be unharmed and set in your presence forevermore. Now, the Catholics of the Reformation did make that prayer, rise up, O Lord, and vindicate thy cause, which was a prayer of Charles V before the Battle of Muhlberg, which was won by the Catholics. But also the Protestants of the Reformation and after the Reformation, the aftermath of the Reformation, I'm thinking particularly of the English Puritans, they believed that they were specially chosen by God. Therefore, if they went into battle, God would ensure their victory because God did not want them to be defeated because that would look bad for God. And so, therefore, God has chosen us. We are his elect. Therefore, God must not let us down. I think there is this idea that God's glory will be seen in the personal vindication of the underdog, this person who's lying sick on his bed. But again, the parliamentarians at the Battle of Naseby. The other thing that's very Reformation-ish about this whole thing is the opening verse. Happy the man who considers the poor and the weak. The Lord will save him in the day of evil, will guard him, give him life, make him happy in the land, and will not give him up to the will of his foes. The Lord will help him on his bed of pain. He will bring him back from sickness to health. Again, there you have, I get the impression, the idea of the conviction of salvation that Protestants often have. Are you saved, brother? Oh, yes, I am saved. I have received the conviction of salvation through prayer. God has reassured me that I shall be saved. The Lord will help me on the day of bed of pain. He will bring me back from sickness to health. God has saved me, and God will show it. Again, though, you could read it in that sense, but it could also be read in just the ordinary Catholic senses that I believe in God and I trust in God, and all will be well in the end. Even if I die, all will be well in the end. And then, of course, the most Catholic line in this whole psalm is as follows: Beatus vir, happy the man, blessed be the man who considers the poor and the weak. The Lord will save him in the day of evil. In other words, a saved man is the man who considers the poor and the weak. The path to salvation lies through consideration of the poor and the weak. The path to salvation lies through good works. Now, this, of course, was a huge bone of contention at the time of the Reformation, much less so nowadays. Nobody seriously in the Christian world says, oh, well, don't bother with good works. They're a bad thing. All you're trying to do with your good works is to bribe God, and God doesn't like that, and it's hypocritical virtue signaling. Stop it at once. Nobody says that. If you feel the need to, or you feel the call to do good works, go and do them. That's God inspiring you to do good. I think Protestants and Catholics would both agree on that. But here it is. It's very clear that the blessed man, the happy man, the saved man, is the man who does good works. In other words, the person who has merit in the sight of God is the person who does good works. And in particular, two good works. He considers the poor and the weak. He protects the weak, he looks after the weak, and he helps the poor. He is good to those in need. And I think if we want to think about how we are to do good works, it's so easy. There is so much low hanging fruit around in our society, so many ways of plucking this fruit and offering it to God as a good work. In Africa, where I was for 4 years, poor people were everywhere. Therefore, to help poor people was very easy. Just went out in the street and helped them in whatever way they liked. Make sure it's their way rather than your way. You help them, asking them what they need or want, and see if you can apply it, rather than forcing your vision onto them. And similarly with the poor and the weak around us all the time. Particularly, we hear about the mental health crisis, those who are on their own. Just today, we were having a discussion with a chap who came and gave us a very good talk from the Martlets, which is our local hospice, and they do a sort of befriending service. And there are many other places, many other charities in Brighton and Hove who do a befriending service, because there are so many people who are alone and isolated and have no friends, don't speak to anybody from one day's end to another. And of course, this led me to say to the group, well, nobody needs to be as isolated, because everybody can join a church. You can just turn up and you can have coffee afterwards and speak to people. Nobody's going to cross-examine you on your belief in transubstantiation or anything like that. And somebody said, yeah, it's true. Here, we never talk about religion. We talk about virtually everything else. Everybody, a church is a social club, among other things. It's not just a social club, I might add. But everybody who's on their own just needs to toddle off to their local church and join it. And they'll have very few questions asked. I suppose one of the problems we've got is the churches do look a little bit forbidding to passers-by, outsiders. We get a lot of people coming in, lighting candles, but not so many people coming in and saying, oh, I think I'll stay for Mass. And we get very few people coming to join in our social activities. But consider the poor and the weak means consider those who need human company. I would have said that would be one of the very low hanging fruit that we have nowadays, to talk to each other, to talk and to build relationships and to build up communication. It's a very interesting psalm, this. I'll just read it through again. Happy the man who considers the poor and the weak. The Lord will save him in the day of evil, will guard him, give him life, make him happy in the land, will not give him up to the will of his foes. The Lord will help him on his bed of pain. He will bring him back from sickness to health. As for me, I said, Lord, have mercy on me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against you. My foes are speaking evil against me. How long before he dies and his name be forgotten? They come to visit me and speak empty words, their hearts full of malice. They spread it abroad. Now you see, the psalmist is one of the poor and the weak who needs the helping hand of the kindly Christian person. My enemies whisper together against me. They all weigh up all the evil which is upon me. Some deadly thing has fastened upon him. He will not rise again from where he lies. Thus even my friend, in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has turned against me. But you, O Lord, have mercy on me. Let me rise once more, and I will repay them. By this I shall know that you are my friend. My foes do not shout and triumph over me. If you uphold me, I shall be unharmed, set in your presence for evermore. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from age to age. Amen. Amen. It's a curious psalm, isn't it? Full of interesting things. All the very best. Bye.